How are you doing with your habits? The habits that allow you to smile, the habits that allow you to feel a sense of success, a sense of accomplishment, achievement, the habits that allow you to make sure that those teeth stay pearly white and that your hygiene's on point and that you're getting your to-do list items checked off. I think habits are extremely important in our life. They allow us to feel a sense of success, but not just success when it comes to financial success, success when it comes to all areas, success of calmness, of peace, tranquility, of self-esteem, and so forth, all the way through the entire wellness of ourselves. And I want to take some time today to kind of look at how can we get better at building habits. And they're out there. There's studies that show that it takes roughly 30 days. There's some that says 45 days, even 90 days, for us to pick up a habit. But overall, when it comes to habits, it's vital for us to acknowledge that we as people, we as humans, we need habits in our life because habits allow us to have a sense of structure, a sense of organization, and that tends to make life a little bit easier. And if you're kind of like, no, I'm not really sure about that, I don't really like the whole structure thing. I want you to think about this, right? I want you to think about this just for a little bit. You have your day, and during your day, you've got things that you got to do. When you skip some of the things that you have to do, more than likely it adds stress to the end of the day. And that stress is something you're carrying. So then at the end of the day, you're able to say, do I like to carry the extra stress? Or do I not like to carry the extra stress? And most people are going to raise their hand and say, no, I don't want to carry no extra damn stress. Why would I, right? Stress makes us feel overwhelmed. It makes us feel anxious. It makes us feel on edge. And then it steers away from the fun things that we want to do. An example of that could be is something that you don't have to do if you don't want to, but it's very popular out there is making your bed in the morning, right? So most people, when they walk into a 5-star hotel or 4, 3-star, whatever it may be, you walk in and it is organized and it looks really nice and neat, and that makes people feel good. Imagine walking into a hotel, you just pay whatever amount of money, you go in there, you open the door, and that shit is just messy. Would you be excited? Would you be like, yes, I'm excited about this right here? I wonder if someone left a Cheeto somewhere. you probably wouldn't be, right? You'd be pissed. You'd be going back to the front desk. I would too. And that there, it highlights, the importance of engaging in a habit, such as a habit of making your bed in the morning. Because when you complete that habit later on, it makes you feel accomplished. You're like, look at me. I was able to do blah, 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 right? I was able to get my bed made. And then you come home and it's like walking into that 4 or 5 or 3-star hotel. It's very welcoming. It's calming. And there's even studies about this, studies where it goes into how do people feel when they go into a certain environment, an environment that's hectic, an environment that's really unorganized versus one that's organized. And you're probably thinking what the answer is. Most of them show a high level of people feeling calmness, some sort of peace and tranquility there. It's even why when you think about, when you get on Google and you Google, peace, calmness, tranquility, you see places like the mountains, the beach. It's rare that you Google something like that and then you see a really messy room or a messy place. So again, nothing out of the ordinary. You probably know this information already. So when it comes to habits, here's the direction I want you to think about. I want you to think about the least amount of work done. You're probably going, what? The least amount of work done? Well, here's why. We as people tend to be a little bit lazy, a bit lethargic. But we sometimes don't do it intentionally. It's conserving energy. And if you think about us kind of going back in our timeline, all the way, just years and years and years back, cavemen, if you will. I don't want to go too much into research or history here, but you think that back then people would probably be wise to conserve energy, right? You'd be wise to do things that you have to do and just kind of chill for a good amount of time. And that, I think, has stuck with us, stuck with us to now. And it makes sense on why so many of us maybe struggle with habits, because habits out there often push us to do so much. Get a to-do list that's 6 pages long and put 1,000 things on there and really check every single one of them off so you feel awesome. And you're like, that's a lot of work. And it is, it's a lot. So instead, let's take a step back and let's acknowledge that, it's nice to just chill. So, so there's Netflix and chill. It's nice to just relax, to sit back, because we're conserving energy. So then when it comes to building a habit, I think it's important for us to think about how can I build habits in a manner that doesn't have me just draining all of my energy. Because, I think that's going to lead us in the wrong direction. It'll probably lead us into dropping that habit really early. And then that makes sense too. I want you to think about yourself and people around you. How many of those individuals have tried to do, these New Year's resolutions, right? These new habits they put in. And then what's the success rate? Often not too high. Somewhere in the middle, but, maybe not at 80 or 90 to 100% success, right? And it's usually due to the amount of things that we're putting on there. So instead, when you think about a habit, here's some savvy ways to do it where you're conserving energy, you're working effectively, and then you're adding a change in there. Let's start with something simple. Simple like the first thing in the morning that most people do is brush your teeth, right? So you're in there brushing your teeth. And in your bathroom, you probably have things that I have in there. You probably got some clothes that are maybe on the floor, right? You probably got your toothbrush there that you're using to brush your teeth, and it probably goes in a container of some sort. So then you're thinking about what are the things that I know I need to do in this bathroom to keep it clean. One of the obvious ones, right, is I want to make sure that the clothes are off the floor. So then you go into the aspect of multitasking. One way to do that would be if you're going to take a shower in the morning, you cut the shower on, you start brushing your teeth. That way the water's getting hot as you're brushing your teeth. When you get done brushing your teeth, switch over and pick up some of the clothes, right? And then go take a shower. So now you've picked up the clothes and you put them in the hamster, you put them in the laundry machine. So you've done an extra task, which is adding a habit to your life, which is a sense of accomplishment. And you did it all in that one cycle. You didn't have to go out of your way to do it. Taking that mentality, it allows you to, yes, conserve energy, right? Because you did it all in that one cycle. It also allows it to be smooth, just a really easy, feasible habit. So I want you to think about that when it comes to adding habits to your life. Consider which habits do I currently have in my life. We're going to start easy and then write those down. And then from there, do a little add-on. I can add this on there. Another example that I give you is certain days of the week I go out and I'm the one in charge of picking up our daughter from school. And I'll tell you, those lines are ridiculous. She gets out of school like at 2 something, and I am there an hour early. And if you're a parent out there, you're like, yeah, it's wild. So then during that time, before what I was doing is I was listening to podcasts, maybe looking through some different books that I want to listen through audiobooks. And then I started to look around and say, hey, Juan, this car's not looking too clean. So then during that time, I started to clean the car. And the cars are in standstill. So we're online. Most people cut their cars off. And I was like, I'm going to make this time productive. And I'm not going out of my way. I'm already doing it in that time zone or in that space. So I want you to think about what fits your life. And often that's what leads to a really successful habit. When it's comfortable, when it's not a lot of energy being drained out, it's smooth. It fits your lifestyle. My habits don't have to be yours. We can have the same habits, but we can do them in different, savvy, creative ways. So what did you think about this video? Was it helpful to you? Was it insightful? Are you excited? You're going to go out there and shift things around a little bit. Hopefully in some way you found it impactful. Let me know. Shoot me a comment. I always like to connect, communicate, so that we get to know each other a little bit better. Like, subscribe as always. That's how we grow the channel here, grow the community. Share with anyone that you think will benefit from being able to build a habit in their life that's going to allow them to have less stress, feel a little bit less overwhelmed. Take care. Continue to do all the things that you're doing. And thank you for spending time with me.